Yes! Ladies and gentlemen, we have made it. UFC 303 is right upon our doorstep, okay? There's no more running, right? There's no more hiding. There's no more talking, okay? It's right here, right? Yes, short notice fights all over the place, okay? Doesn't matter, okay? We're taking this one on short notice too, right on the chin. Pause. Not doing it. Right, so today I'm going to be breaking down the UFC 303 main card fights, okay? I'm going to be giving my predictions, just seeing where this stuff's going to take us, okay? This is a good card. This is a decent card, I'm not going to lie. This is a pretty good card. I would even say best card of the month. Yeah, this definitely beats out Islam and Poirier, without a doubt. But I'm going to be breaking down the main card, so let's get right into it. Fight number 1, okay. Ian the Cut Gary, Michael Venom Paige, right? This is going to be a good fight, hopefully. Ian Gary tends to, I underestimated him against his fight against Jeff Neal. I was expecting him to go out there and knock him out and chin check him and, clean his clock a little bit. None of those things happened. I don't even think anybody even got dropped in that fight. I know anybody didn't get dropped in that fight. It was kind of I wouldn't say boring, just because it was, Jeff Neal always has the what if of, oh, he could knock this person out. But I was expecting it to be like a Jeff Neal Shavkat fight, right? It was nothing like that, okay? But with that being said, Ian Gary is a good fighter. He's slick, he's tall, he knows how to use his frame to his advantage. With that being said, Michael Paige is the same way. He's sleek, he gets in and out real quick, he enters the pocket, gets out. He kind of reminds me of like a Robert Whittaker. Like a lighter Robert Whittaker, right? Kind of like a lankier one too, but I'm picking Ian Gary to win. I got a crazy prediction, guys. I'm picking Ian Gary to win by KO TKO. I don't know the round, but I think Michael Paige is going to come out early. He's going to come out guns blazing because he knows what's on the line here. He doesn't like Ian Gary. He knows Ian Gary doesn't like him. These guys don't like each other, right? I think Michael Paige is going to fight off emotion a lot more than Ian Gary, right? Ian Gary's been doing this, right? He's been attacked by Colby, okay? That was before the Jeff Neal fight. He even showed up, he didn't show up to the press conference because he got the flu, right? Yeah, he got the cuck flu, okay? That flu is from kissing his wife, who kissed her boyfriend, right? Okay. I don't see Michael Paige, knocking out Ian Gary. I mean, don't get me wrong, he definitely could. I can't see it happening. I think Ian Gary, both of these guys have a chin, right? But I think Ian Gary has more fire in him right now than Michael Paige does, just because, Ian Gary's climbing the rankings. Michael Paige just got into UFC, fought Kevin Holland, very impressive performance, but I don't think Michael Paige, it's not like Michael Paige has he's not like a three-dimensional fighter, right? He's a one-dimensional fighter. He's going to get in there and kickbox, and it's kind of the same with Ian Gary, At least we haven't seen any of Ian Gary's ground game. He's at shoot box now with Charles, doing jiu-jitsu on the mats and shit, sitting in each other's guards, probably buck naked, and I like Charles Oliveira, but I hate Ian Gary, so, but I do think he's going to win this fight, unfortunately. I can see Michael Paige maybe dropping Ian Gary in like the first round or something, like a flash knockdown. But I think Ian Gary's just going to take control of the fight, kind of like he did with Jeff Neal, Neil Magny. I think he's going to take control of the fight, and he's going to win by, I don't know, it might be like a round 3 KO TKO. I can also see Ian Gary taking him to a decision. He seems to like decisions a lot, unless your name's Daniel Rodriguez, then he's going to kick you on the side of your fucking head. So first fight, I'm going Ian Gary. KO TKO or decision, doesn't matter. Next fights. Anthony Smith, Roman Dolidze. So, if this was at middleweight, I probably would pick Roman Dolidze, but Roman Dolidze, moving up a weight class on short notice, he's got to fill in that frame, right? You need time to fill in your frame if you're moving up a weight class, especially when it comes to this heavier weight classes, because you're moving up 15 pounds. It's not like from flyweight to bantamweight where you're moving up 10 pounds, 125 to 135, right? No, he's jumping up 15 pounds, short notice. Grant, he's not going to have a tough weight cut to get through, but at the same time, he's not going to have time to fill in his frame like Max Holloway did against Justin Gaethje. We saw Max Holloway when he first went up and fought Dustin Poirier. He looked like a blob. He looked like a little chunky thing. He looked like me in 5th grade. Not this past time against Gaethje. You know, he had time to get a training camp in, fill in his frame, got comfortable with his movements when he's heavier, and he styled on Justin Gaethje. I thought Gaethje was going to knock him out. Boy, was I fucking wrong. So I'm going to pick Anthony Smith by decision here. Because delit hasn't done anything that's really impressed me in his UFC career. He's a ranked middleweight, which middleweight is definitely a talented division. It's not, I wouldn't say it's stacked, because, you know, Jack Hermansson's in there, you know, fucking Roman Dolidze's in there, but, you know, they got talent in there. Moving up a weight class on short notice, I don't think he's going to be able to get it done. Not against Anthony on paper Smith. He already fraud checked Vitor Petrino his last time out. I don't think Roman Dolidze has anything to offer him that Anthony Smith hasn't seen yet. And on paper, he's the greatest fighter in the UFC in history, you know. So I'm going Anthony Smith by decision. Ladies and gentlemen, I am on the Diego Lopez hype train like you would never believe. I jumped on 2 stations ago, fellas. I love Diego Lopez, right? He's an entertaining fighter, right? He's always looking for a finish. Took his UFC debut on short notice against Movsar Evloev, who's ranked right now. I think he's ranked above him. Took him to a decision. He actually stunned Movsar in the first round and then proceeded to gas out. So his gas tank is definitely a little bit suspicious, especially because his last 3 fights have only gone, 90 seconds? You know? His gas tank is suspicious, I'm not going to lie. But his power and his ground game, he's so well-rounded that it's hard to pick against him, you know what I mean? But then you look at Brian Ortega, right? Not a lot of people had Volkan trouble during his prime title reign, right? You know, Max Holloway 3, Max had nothing to offer him. TKZ had nothing to offer him. Brian Ortega had him hurt. Not hurt, he had him stuck in a guillotine. And I forgot what the other one was. It wasn't a rear naked choke, but he had him stuck multiple times. But Brian Ortega, man, he's good on the ground. But his last fight, he did get dropped in the first round against Yair Rodriguez. And he won that fight. I'll give it to him. He won that fight. But I picked Yair. Definitely upset. I don't really like Brian Ortega, man. He seems like he's just too cool for school, you know what I mean? Like, this dude shouldn't be in the UFC. He needs to be, you know, in the city running around, you know. He's a city boy, right? I think Diego Lopez has more fire under his belly right now. I think Diego Lopez is going to get it done. KO, TKO, round 2. I can see mid-late round 2, early round 3. I think Diego Lopez is going to either knock down Brian Ortega and then TKO him on the ground, or knock him down and then get him in maybe like a arm triangle, or maybe even like a guillotine or something. Or if Brian Ortega is rocked enough, he might give up his back to Diego. I don't know, but I think if this fight leaves the 3rd round, I think it favors Brian Ortega significantly more, just because of Diego Lopez's gas tank, especially since Diego's taking this fight on short notice. I can't really see him, because I'm pretty sure this is a 5-round fight, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure that this is 5 rounds. So if this fight does leave the 3rd round, I can't see Diego Lopez, you know, really having too much strength and willpower to, you know, do any severe damage to Brian Ortega. So if that's if his gas tank gives out. If Diego Lopez's gas tank holds up the entire fight, I can see him winning a decision. That's if Brian Ortega doesn't smother him on the ground. We know Brian Ortega can throw up submissions like it's nobody's business, right? But I have trust in Diego Lopez's ground game, right? We've seen it before. I think his name is Gavin Tucker, put him in a triangle armbar, and before he even secured the armbar, Tucker tapped. I mean, this dude's insane, right? So I'm definitely riding the Diego Lopez hype train. I got Diego Lopez round 2, KO, TKO. If it goes the distance, I got Brian Ortega. I don't think that one's going the distance, especially because it's 5 rounds. Speaking of fights not going the distance, ladies and gentlemen, look at what we have ourselves here, right? This time, a month ago, we were supposed to be looking at Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler, right? But the Mac, right? The big fat cat that everybody wants, you know, the red panty night, you know. pulled out, right? Because he stubbed his toe, jumped out of bed, walking to his yacht, stubbed his toe, forgot to put on his Gucci slippers. Now we're here, okay? This fight's light years ahead of what we were going to get this fight week, right? But damn, dude. I don't even know who to pick. I've been thinking about this one for a while, guys. I have. Because Alex Pereira's offense is, he's got a nuke. He's got dynamite in those hands, right? But it's like Yuri is just so unorthodox, right? We've seen Alex Pereira chinned before, unconscious, right? And that was by Izzy. I think Yuri, if he dropped down to middleweight, he would beat Izzy, right? But it's like, damn. Obviously, Alex is fighting at 205 now, so his chin is not diminished, right? He's got more power. And Yuri's defense is just so suspect to me. He doesn't block leg kicks. And Alex Pereira doesn't telegraph his leg kicks. He'll just throw them out there. Just won't. And they hurt. They hurt. Last fight he hurt. He dropped Yuri with leg kicks. And there was a big old welt forming on his leg, right? Looked like a fucking grape. Looked like a fucking grapefruit. You know what I mean? But Yuri was having his moments, right? He was caught him with some good straights with an uppercut on the fence. So if Yuri can check leg kicks and pressure Alex against the fence and maybe, put some nice combos together on the fence, I can see Yuri knocking out Alex Pereira. But I think the odds of Alex catching him before he can get that far are better. You know what I mean? Alex has been doing this for a long time when it comes to the kickboxing realm. Unless Yuri grapples, which we know Yuri can grapple. He took him down in the first fight. He didn't really do anything with it, but I'm picking Alex. I'm picking Alex by KO, TKO. How can you not? He's essentially at 205, aside from Jan Blachowicz, he's knocked out everybody. And everybody, I mean Yuri and Jamal, Salty Man, Hill. But, those are the top 3 guys in the division right there. So it's like, how can you not pick Alex Pereira here, right? Yeah. Alex Pereira by KO, TKO. I'm doing it. I'm slamming it, boys. I'm sorry, but I love both of these guys. If there was a way, I wish they just knock each other out. You know what I mean? And just, they both get the title, Yuri gets an interim, whatever type shit. I don't know. Something happens there. But I'm picking Alex by KO, TKO. I could see it happen in the earlier rounds. Alex's fights really never go long. Especially as of late, he's been knocking people out first, second round. Shout out Jamal Hill. But yeah, UFC 303. This fight's gonna be this card's gonna be pretty damn good. We got a bunch of good fights on here. Joe Pyfer, Cub Swanson, Andre Feely, Charles Jourdain, Gene Silva, Peyton Talbot. Yeah, Oliveira, Ricky Simone, Arlovsky. I'm pretty sure Arlovsky actually knocked himself out either last fight or a few fights ago. I'm not too sure. This one. Yeah, some good fights on here. So what I'm gonna start doing, boys, is I'm gonna be putting down $1 parlays, right? I'm gonna parlay all my picks, okay? And if you want to see the rest of these picks, Countercross Combat on Instagram, right? I'm gonna be parlaying all these picks for $1, right? It's probably not gonna win me shit, but it's enough to pay for the pay-per-view, right? Doesn't matter, okay? Parlaying all the picks, Countercross Combat. Come get right. Promise we're going to get out of our slump, right? We're 47-38, going on Michael Johnson runs as of late. I don't like it. Okay, we need to get out of the slump. My goal this week, 5 for 5 on the main card. 5 for 5 on the main card. I'm calling my shot right now. I can't see really any of these not going, my way. Yeah. So yeah, parlay time. I'm gonna be posting locks and dogs of the night. So stay tuned, boys. We got some good shit coming up.